I've seen one Biden sign at like, some house that was, completely Dem. It probably been in the
Right.
Dem family for a million years because they had like every single Dem sign was out,
Hey,
Um,
I was out driving at 7 o'clock
yeah.
last week, and we drove, and there was a guy out there holding a vote for Trump poster, with a big banner and everything. I mean, these people they are dedicated. And
Right.
you
Well,
don't see the Biden people doing that.
I don't know that there are Biden people.
Oh, there aren't Biden people.
Because this election is just a referendum on Trump. It's literally you're either for Trump or you're against him. And
Yeah.
that's why you don't have to be for Biden. You
Well,
just have to be against Trump.
this election is all about getting the moderate Republicans. That's what it's all about. Because you notice that Caitlyn Johnstone had a thing today, I think, referring to Aaron Mate wrote a thing about how during the whole DNC for 4 days of the Democratic National Convention, there was not one mention of Russiagate, not one mention of impeachment. And you think if this was what they had spent the last 4 years doing, which they did basically,
Right.
that they would
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least mention it during the convention. And the only reason they don't mention these things is because they're trying to get the moderate Republicans. They don't want to turn off the moderate Republicans by
Right.
bringing up these things again. So that to me is amazing that they spent and up until like a week ago. I mean, they're still talking about Russiagate, and they did not mention it at the convention. Isn't that strange?
That is very, very strange. You're right. Absolutely. You would have thought there would have been more Russiagate, even though they're still doing it in tweets and this and that. They're still banging the Russiagate drum. They're still, they're still talking about, not having faith in the outcome. I mean, Hillary had that tweet where she basically said Joe Biden should not, concede.
Right. You shouldn't concede under any conditions. What does that mean?
Right. I don't know how that's not, basically being a traitor and saying to go against the Constitution and not have a peaceful transfer of power. I mean, I don't know how you get away with that.
It basically is, so that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying there's this consensus now developing. There's a neo-fascist agenda consensus. Like, we don't really need the Constitution. We don't really need basic rights. We just need to get shit done. And basically, if the other side's breaking the rules, so are we. So that's what we're devolving into, I fear.
Oh yeah. And so there is interest around the polling these days, to whatever extent you believe polls. It's tightening up enough that Biden is actually coming out of his bunker next week or after Labor Day in like 9 days or something. He's actually coming out and he's going to go to the Midwest to a few spots. One thing that's interesting I found is that if you watch Real Clear Politics has all the like various betting sites, and the betting sites in 2016 actually got it right on like a November 8th, a few days before. They had Trump way up. Because basically, if you're setting the odds that cost you money if you get wrong, they have no political reason at all to do anything but get accurate statistics. And so I'm watching those now, and those have Biden crashing and Trump's like coming up fast.
Yeah.
So we're going to see some interesting things happen. Biden knows he has to change his game plan. So he's actually going to have to go out and talk to people again. And who knows what can come out of that.
Well, if Trump wins this, and he may very well win, that's going to do more than anything for the People's Party. I think that people, because the Democratic Party is basically they're dead DOA. If they lose this thing, because I mean.
Well, they'll be able to fundraise like crazy, but you would think anyone reasonable would say that they haven't got the answer. Yeah, you would think that moving for People's Party would get a huge boost at that point. I would hope.
I would hope. But yeah, I see definitely things are 60 days, which is not much time, but it's also a lot of time because things can change. And I'm not. I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter which detergent brand wins, because they're basically the same thing. But
if one detergent brand is to say ignore the Constitution and peaceful transfer of power, that's That's incredibly dangerous.
Well, aren't they both saying that? Because Hillary said basically we're not going to, you know, honor the Constitution.
Well, that's what I'm
That's what
saying.
you're referring to.
I'm actually talking about Hillary. I'm trying to think.
But Trump has intimated the same thing. So I mean, it's like.
Well, he's also talking about doubts about results, right? Because of mail-in ballots, et cetera, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It could be really dangerous time. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be, it's going to, no matter what, the election's kind of like, again, I don't think it's going to change that much. Yeah, okay, so you get a better Supreme Court appointment, you know, for Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat under Biden than under Trump, but like in the big picture, it's not going to make a lot of difference, unfortunately.
With either party, Republicans or Democrats, right? It's going to be same old. I mean, actually, I'm not sure if the Democrats have like spun through all their impeachments and prosecutions, et cetera. What does Trump final term untethered, not having to spend 70% of his time talking to lawyers? What does that administration look like? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if the Democrats
could be terrifying.
If they win the Senate, then they can impeach him. I mean, and convict him, which they would probably do. But
well, what would they convict him on, though? The most I think the most reasonable things to convict him on would be like war crimes kind of things. But again, they're never going to do that.
Well, they'll find something like whatever his income taxes or something that they don't have to go down that hole. Right.
Yeah.